My sword's not working. Do you want me to sword? All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started now, if that's okay with everyone.
All right, fine.
Okay, well, first of all, Happy New Year. Right? We didn't. This is our first one. I know it's March, but it's our first one of the year. So happy MS Moments New Year. So glad to see so many faces here, old and new. Not old people, old friends, and new, old friends. So we thought we'd kick off the year a little festive with the Irish theme. Did everybody enjoy their meal?
Yes.
Thank you. Wonderful. Well, I hope you all help me give a huge thank you to the Beer House. I have to tell you guys, Christy sold herself way short, and with her mom and dad in the room, I felt this was a great opportunity just to thank them. They have been huge supporters of the National MS Society and huge supporters of MS Moments since the day I was diagnosed. And I'm forever grateful for everything they do for us, so I hope you all help me give them a big hand. Anyway, Christy, thank you for continuing what your mom and dad started, and thank you for helping spread awareness about MS. I know that was your biggest goal, and I feel like through so many people coming and being part of this, we're doing exactly that. So I know our board appreciates that, so thank you. Board members, just kind of go through some people here in the room. Chris Clucky is our chair, and Jen Stack. That's all. What? Jen Stack, Kelly Eulenhoff, and Greg Schmatter just joined our board in the last few weeks, and we're really glad to have them. Awesome. So let's talk about MS Moments for a moment, right? For a moment. So we've had a year of just kicking off with our chili cook-off. We had a winners we didn't know we were going to have, spicy that wasn't what I thought was spicy, but it was spicy. I like spicy. I am spicy, right? So the chili cook-off, and then now here we are. March, MS Awareness Month. That's why we see the orange balloons around on the floor, and a lot of people wearing orange very smartly. So, yes. So, let's talk about our events, just so you guys know. We kind of have a lot packed into a little bit here as far as the month of March. For some reason, we ended up with people kind of pounding down our doors saying, hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? So Saturday morning at Walker Johnson Park, we have our 5K. Jamaica's going to win it. Big shoes to fill, my friend. Yeah. Big shoes. Yeah. So you can still register up until midnight tonight. Then it will shut off, right, Greg?
Yeah. I think.
Perfect. See, he's married. He knows. Just say yes. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. So anyway, it's a kid run and a 5K. We're going to have a mile run for the kids and a 5K for the adults. I have absolutely no problem with you walking.
You got a quarter mile for us old farts?
Say it one more time.
Do you have a quarter mile for us old farts?
You can walk a quarter mile, fine. I'm good with that. So, and that's what I was going to say. If you want to, as an adult, if you want to do the kids' fun run, I'm totally good with that. But you have to pay the adult price. So, I mean, unless you're going to try to play off that you're 10. So, I'm good with trying. And then next week sometime we'll have some brackets out for the NCAA Challenge, MS Madness as we call it. And we all keep that a little on the down low, but that'll be coming out.
Please.
Yeah. So,
Prairie Meadows IRGC people?
yes. Those Prairie Meadows people in the house. There's a couple. 3/15, March 15th, we're doing, the board will be cleaning up after you. You want an opportunity to have us clean up after you. Here's your chance. Come to the Radish and Grinds, and from 4 to 9, the Radish is being very generous, giving 20% of all tabs to MS Moments. So, huge deal. So if you're looking, don't cook. We'll clean up after you too.
That's cannelloni.
Yes, that's cannelloni.
This Tuesday?
Yes, next Tuesday. March 26th, we have MS Moments Night at the Iowa Energy. Thank you, Jen Stack, for your wonderful contributions. For that, Jen is the sponsor of the dancers, co-sponsor, I think, of the dancers, halftime dancers, and yeah, there you go. And I mean, Yes. But anyway, she had a great connection in for us, and they're giving us some tickets to sell. If you would like tickets, Jen has some with her tonight. They're $15 a piece, and if you come to the game, please wear orange. Okay? And I'm just giving everyone a heads up here that April 23rd is the walk, and I know that our friend Molly is going to talk about it here in a little bit. So I won't steal her thunder too much, but there is already out there an MS Moments team. Go out, sign up, free to register. If you raise $125, you get a t-shirt, and there's other prizes in increments, and I'll let her talk about that.
And if you register.
Or you can talk about it.
No, sorry.
Wait, I didn't want to steal your thunder. I was stealing your thunder. No, you're good, go ahead.
So then if you register, and within 30 days, well, everybody should self-donate anyways, but if you donate $35 to yourself within the first 30 days, then you get this really cool circle window pin that says I want for MS.
You all need one.
Yeah, and they are really cool.
They
I
are.
went in my car. And
That's awesome.
Yep.
Thank you.
So sorry.
And then I just want to give everyone a heads up that May is going to be a very big deal for us. We're blessed to have Dan and Jennifer Digman coming from Michigan. They are two amazing people. They are married. They married after they both were diagnosed with MS, and they are going to share their story, and it's amazing. And they were just inducted into the National MS Society's Hall of Fame, and again, they're just amazing. It turns out they live clear in Michigan, and it turns out my husband was buddies with one of them in college. So it's they waived their fee to come. We're going to actually have that across the street at the Fairfield Inn in one of their big conference rooms, so we can seat 90 to 100 people. So tell your friends, May 11th. May 11th.
How
Yep.
much is it going to cost you?
No.
Okay.
But I will let you know. We're still trying to figure out menu, so when we know menu, then we'll set costs. Okay? Questions? Who has questions for me? Someone? Anyone? Go. No? Okay. Well, here I will introduce our first speaker. Because it is MS Awareness Month, I wanted to make sure we brought in the MS Society to talk with you guys and let you know what's going on in the world of the MS Society, since we do so much with them, and of course we donate back to them every year as well. So please help me welcome my dear friend Molly Severson. Oh no, you're right back here.
I know, all my stuff is back there, but that's okay.
Oh.
And I'll see you when I leave. Okay, so my name is Molly. I work for the National MS Society, and I started with them last April, so I'm still a newbie, but I feel like I've done pretty fantastic things. I got Ann Romney for Kids Generosity, which is super cool. But I have MS also. I was diagnosed, it was 3 years on March 12th. I have relapsing remitting. And so I met Carrie because my husband runs Lifetime Athletic up in Hickman, and Carrie came in and talked to my husband, and my husband's like, my wife has MS, and I didn't know anybody, so that was a great first connection for me. So MS is obviously near and dear to my heart, for I suffer with the disease, and my girlfriend Carrie does, and then there's so many other people that I've met here. So I'm very privileged to be able to work for the National MS Society, and I love Carrie's foundation. I tell everybody about it. We had a mood and cognition event last night, and I was telling everybody about Carrie Anderson. You got to meet her, and you have to look at MS Moments on Facebook. So I just really believe in your foundation, and we talk about that and how much I love it. So, very nice. Fantastic. But like with Carrie, and everybody knows MS is like something that like for me, I'm pretty healthy overall, but then you have moments where it kind of punches you in the stomach, like, oh, damn, I do have something, and like I went for a run yesterday, then my foot was acting up and I fell and I skinned my knees. I haven't skinned my knees since I was like 8, and I forgot how bad it hurts. So now I have way more sympathy for my kids. But it's those moments of where it takes you back, and Carrie has those many moments of that, and that's why I do love that you have MS moments, because we all have those brain issues. So we have a lot going on in March, which is really exciting. So besides our real big events, what we have coming up is we have on Saturday also, we have a MS Family Bowling event. So we were expecting 20 people. We have 50 families signed up. So this is our first family event that MS families can come to, which is really exciting. So we have that from 12 to 2 on Saturday, and then at Lifetime they're having a whole, they made flyers and everything supporting MS. Everybody's gonna wear orange. We're gonna have a table there and help promote our events, so that's really exciting. We also paired up with the Iowa Energy, and we're having a table the night before you guys are, I think, the 24th. And so we're having a table there for that, and we have tickets also, but buy their tickets. And then we're paired up, which I'm really excited about. So we're paired up also with the Iowa Wild, which is crazy to me because we were fans of the Minnesota Wild, so it was really bizarre to me that this is the Iowa Wild. But really excited about that. And so they're doing a lot of stuff for us. Kellen gets to ride a Zamboni. And then we're going to do a puck drop. So they're going to have me do the puck drop, and then they're going to do this big announcement about MS and how it's MS Awareness Month. And they're just really promoting a ton for us. And then we get to tag all the chairs. We're going to tag them with footprints so people can donate. We're going to have a table there. And then they have a silent auction, and then all of the money that they make from the silent auction, they're donating back to the National MS Society. And then this is really fun. If you guys like wine and you like to paint and you like to look at hot men, you should come on Monday. I like paint. I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, men can come too, friend. You can come too. But so it's Monday the 28th, and it's wine on campus with the Iowa Wild. And so you get to drink wine, you get to paint with the Iowa Wild, and then the Wild are going to sign their paintings, and they're going to auction those off, and then all that proceeds go back to the MS Society. So,
But do we get to paint the Iowa Wild? We don't get to paint the
no. Oh, that'd be way better. Last year, we're working on that. Oh, now my wheels are turning, Carrie. Next year, my wheels are always spinning. I like it.
What time is that?
So that one on campus is the 28th. I have flyers over there for it too. And what you're painting is you're painting the mascot. And so everybody says it looks really hard, but think of it in shapes. If you do everything in shapes, it's not that hard.
When is the hockey game?
So the hockey game is the 25th. It's a Friday night. And I have tickets for, I can give you guys, if you guys are interested in tickets for that, they're $15, and then $5 goes back to the society. And actually Jenna from the Iowa Wild is selling them for us. For some reason I can't sell them, but so you just go and click on this little icon and it brings you right to Jenna, and you can get tickets for her, and I can get you that information. And then, I'm sorry, I have like 50,000 things that I'm going on in my head. So then the MS Walk is, I get confused, I'm in the Hudson Walk. It's the 23rd. And I love the walk. The walk was something that I was diagnosed in March, and I did the walk in Hudson, Wisconsin that May. So I love the walk because I can do the walk, and I don't get as tired, and I just love the walk because you get to talk to everybody, and you get to learn people's stories, and even though everybody's MS is different, we're all on a journey that has the same disease, and we're all affected differently. And so it's so great. Like last year, Carrie, look, I understand that. So last year, like the end of my tongue started becoming numb, and at first I thought, did I burn my tongue? And I remember my talking weird, and then I saw a young girl at a walk last year. She goes, "My tongue is numb." I'm like, yes! I'm like, you gotta know, that was a weird thing, and I'm trying to explain to my husband. He's like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, it kind of feels like I burnt it. But then you find somebody that actually has it, and I'm like, oh, this is so great. The tongue is numb. So glad you're lucky. So good, yes. But I mean, that's what I love about the walk, is you get that time to talk, and you get time to learn people's stories and have that connectability, and it makes you feel like you're not alone. So sign up for the walk. Join Carrie's team. It's really easy to do. Donate. You can win things, and you can volunteer, be cheerleaders, or come at 5:30 in the morning if you really want to and help us set up.
There's a 5:30 in the morning?
Well, we're there at 5:30.
I didn't even think that time existed.
I know, right?
There's another 5:30?
Exactly. And so that's MS Walk, and it starts at Principal Park, and you just walk around. It's about a 3 or so mile route, but you can always turn around and come back. And we also do have people on the route that can pick you up and bring you back. So I'm a little partial to the walk because I just love it so much. It's just near and dear to my heart. But if you like to bike and drink beer and have fun and raise money for MS, the Bikes and Brew is on June 25th. And it's in Ankeny, and we're really excited about this. We made great strides last year. Last year we had 320 riders, where the year before we only had 186. We raised a lot more money. I can't remember the exact numbers right now than we did the previous year, but this year was going to be even better. You guys familiar where Fire Trucker is in Ankeny? Okay, so so last year that whole back area wasn't even developed, and so now they built this big, beautiful pavilion, and it's all open back there. So it's gonna be really great because we're gonna start at the back. My First Street is right here. So we're gonna have the arch right here, kind of by First Street. So you'll start and end there rather than starting at the fire station, which was just a little confusing last year. We're gonna have 6 food trucks, I think, this year versus 2. And I did request some colder food because it was like 90. I don't know. I felt like it was 120 degrees. And then they have like hot barbecue, and I'm like, how can you eat hot barbecue and you just bike 50 miles? Like, that's crazy to me. So we're gonna have 6. Then we're gonna have music. It's just gonna be the bike corral is gonna be so much better and spread out. Last year it was a little confusing. You had people coming in just to go to Fire Trucker, and then people coming in for a ride, so that was confusing. So that kind of eliminates that. So yeah, you get a free beer. Okay, and the Fire Trucker has a new beer. You all have to go there and try it. It's so good. He concocted it from the Prohibition. He looked at this recipe and everything. Oh my gosh, he gave me a glass of this is bomb. Like, this is so good. So and they're gonna have it forever. So you need to try that beer. But I think that's about it. And we. If people ever ask, what does the MS Society, where does the money go? People ask me that, for my walk when they donate. I will say majority of the money, obviously the money goes towards the events too. I mean, they have to pay us and they have to help pay for the stuff. But, and then a lot of it does go towards research, but there's great strides being made in research now, and I really use that on my Facebook page. They're having, okay, then I'll sum it up because I know we're kind of running out of time. So they're going to have, the very first, which is super good news, in 2017, they're going to be having the very first progressive MS drug out, because there's no drugs for progressive MS. So that's very exciting news. Everybody says, oh, we want to get a cure. Well, for people who have MS, a cure is not going to help us. But what's going to help us is they're coming out with a drug in 2016 where it's going to repair that myelin sheath to help to bring that protective sheath back to the nerves, which is really exciting because then it's going to bring back that functionality. I won't be tripping on that when I'm running. I won't trip and fall like a little kid. So that is, so those are really great, exciting tidbits. So people ever ask you if you're doing something and you're raising money for the National MS Society, those are just a couple of things that you can say. Also, we've given out a whole bunch of scholarships, put in, similar to MS Moments, helping people out with their medical bills, and we can only help out with things like for drug-wise, we can only help out with like things that are FDA approved and things like that. But yeah, so go out, do the events, be involved, spread awareness, and I am a total loser because I do not wear orange, and I work for the society.
I was thinking that out there.
I do have my orange bracelet on, but I am a total,
my biggest pet peeve.
Seriously. Do you guys have any questions at all? And if you want, I do have some flyers right there. I can show you guys too, and then my cards are back there too. And Karen knows how to phone me. Oh, actually, they're right there. I do. Yes, I said thank you. So thanks, you guys.
So she talks really fast, doesn't she?
Do I?
If I didn't already know the answers, I might struggle. I love it. She gets so excited and so passionate, right? So this is kind of a good segue. So if you have MS and are willing to share, raise your hand. If you know someone who has MS, raise your hand. Everyone in the room, right?
You know you.
Yeah.
We know you.
But raise your hand for yourself.
I raised them. Oh, that's
Right, exactly. You know me,
I'm not.
and you know you. So anyway, my point here is that everyone in the room has some sort of a connection to MS. Your strongest tool you have is your voice. Share about MS moments, share about people who have MS, share stories. get the word out there. You have as good a tool as any of us. And especially, I can tell you over the last month and a half, I've got friends in this room that have crawled out of the woodwork, and they always do every time I'm having a relapse of any sort and helping us in big ways. And I know they're sharing with people because I'm getting calls and people saying, hey, I heard from such and such that you've been sick, we want to bring over a meal, that kind of thing. So your voice is so powerful, use it. That's the best thing I can tell you, okay? Now we are going to have my favorite, don't tell Dr. Hughes I said that.
I think this is mine, like, no, she's my doctor.
Netta, I see her at 7:30 in the morning, how about you?
No.
I thought
Well, it's early for me.
So,
She wants us to be awake.
right, come on up, Megan. This is Megan Kennedy. Come on up, Megan.
My second appointment of the day. I started at 7:15.
Yes, so.
So I am Megan Kennedy. I'm a nurse practitioner. I have worked at Mercy Medical Center for 15 years now. What was that?
No one's old enough. You're 12 years old. Say you're 12.
Keep flattering her. Go ahead.
She's a Doogie Howser of nurse practitioner.
Such a good one.
We don't.
I specialize in MS. I partner with Dr. Hughes as providers within the largest MS center in the state of Iowa. There are 3 other large MS centers in the state, the University of Iowa, Unity Point, and then us. There's lots of providers out there, and we try to work in tandem with them. So Carrie was kind enough to ask me if I would come and talk about something that if you have ever sat in an appointment with me, you hear my spiel about exercise and diet and wellness. And so it is something that's very close to my heart because I very much believe that you can have more than just MS. So MS is just a diagnosis, and it doesn't have to be you. You have lots of other things, and so sometimes you can't control the MS side of things because that's why you see specialists, and that's why you invest in people who are investing in the latest and greatest in research and that type of knowledge. But there's a certain part that you can control, and that's your diet, and it's your lifestyle, and it's your exercise, and surrounding yourself with people who also believe that same way is very important to me. So what I did, because Carrie gave me 0 guidelines for this, she said talk about wellness and whatever you want to talk about. So
She always has good stories.
I
Why would I put guidelines on that?
So yeah, she carte blanche. So I said, well, let me do some research then, because I have my own personal beliefs about wellness, and most of them are founded in science, but then I was curious because I have only been in MS for about 4 years now, so what predates me? And so I went back, and so I've got some, and so I made notes, so bear with me a little bit because I consider that to be important, but that's, I disagree with them, but I figured you guys would have a foundation here, so. Okay, so many of you who are very familiar with MS, I'm sure have heard of the Swank diet. Okay, now Dr. Swank is a physician, a neurologist who treated MS for over 20 years and had this very extensive research bank data about diet. And he claimed that this very specific diet decreased relapse rates, decreased lesion load on our MRIs, and it was a very difficult to replicate study, and so therefore, and those of us who put a lot of value in science struggled with the data, but the diet was sound, right? It was a low cholesterol, low fat diet, and lots of patients benefited from it, and this was pre-medication, so this was before we had treatments for MS, 13 FDA-approved drugs now, and more on the horizon. So that was kind of exciting at the time, and almost every talk that I do for pharmaceutical companies or otherwise, I get asked about diet. My patients ask me about diet, and so there's a little bit of a foundation there. So But some of the latest research that's coming out about diet is that perhaps we may have gotten it wrong. While Dr. Swank's diet did show that people were healthier and that patients were doing better, it was likely not related to the actual fact that they were making good dietary choices by being low fat. It was probably because they were losing weight, because they were being more physically active, and they were more engaged in their own healthcare. What research is now showing is that high-fat diets are actually good for the brain. The brain likes fat. Now, this is not the McDonald's fat. Okay?
Damn it!
This is not the heavily saturated fats, but what the research does show is that our brains like fat. But they're good fats. These are our medium chain fatty acids. They're your nuts, it's your coconut oils, it's your lean meats, it's your very fishy-based diets. So then the personal side of things come into play, and I'm a big believer in the paleo diet. And I will say that I struggle with organ meats because that is definitely part of the paleo diet. But what it really does focus on is a decrease in the processed foods. So paleo diets really look at good fats. They look at lean meats and proteins, limiting your processed foods, those grains, the stuff that even though you're gluten-free, we're still putting in our body. And it's very fruit and veggie filled type of diet. Now, science behind it. They did do a very large study in MS patients. And the problem with that study, and it's not considered valid either, like Dr. Swank's diet, is that they also did lots of interventions at the same time. So they had people exercising, they had people meditating, they had people doing yoga, they had lots of other interventions. And the patients did very, very well, but it was that same issue where they didn't have a control arm of patients who weren't doing any of those interventions to see how well they truly did. So from a science standpoint, it's not horribly robust, but from a health standpoint, you have to take a look at why we choose diets like that. Ultimately, the studies that have been very, very valuable look at body composition. There was a very unique study that was done many, many years ago, and it's considered very valid today, that shows that the higher your BMI is between the ages of 7 and 13, the greater your risk of developing MS is. So now, of course, that is something that is outside of everyone in this room's control, obviously, since we're all at the age of 13. But as we think about the other factors that we know contribute to the possible risk of MS, such as environment, genetics, then it really forces us to kind of take a look at stuff, again, that we can control. Our children, our family members, and what I tell a lot of my patients is that while you may think that you're the first person in your family that's been diagnosed with MS, generally if you shake that family tree hard enough, you'll find somebody else who also has a diagnosis. Maybe not a formal diagnosis, but I hear patients tell me all the time, well, there was this one uncle who walked this weird way and nobody really knew, and that type of scenario. So that's my diet skill. I believe that diet is huge. You can control it. You can make it manageable. Overall, I say clean eating. My general rule of thumb is if it comes in a box, bag, bottle, or can, you probably don't need it. Do I say 100% all of the time? I don't. You get one shot at this. So if that means that you're going to have a glass of wine, a girlfriend of mine said, well, I tried to give up weekday wine, but I wasn't successful. So now I limit my weekend wine. And I was like, okay, well, you know what?
Whatever works.
You get one shot at this thing, and if I'm super type A and I would like everything to be black and white, but but you know what, it doesn't work out that way. And MS certainly falls into that realm of things that are kind of out of your control. So 85-15 I think is a good rule. If you can do it 85% of the time, then you're probably in a good spot. I will say that the only thing that I'm 100% solid about with zero tolerance for is smoking. The data for nicotine use is abundant, and they are good studies, and they are very, very valid. And so just a couple of them. People exposed to secondhand smoke have a 2 times greater risk of developing multiple sclerosis.
I want that. I don't.
You want which part?
I want that study.
We work at the casino. She wants to get smoking bans.
I need study. If you could give me a copy,
Sure,
and let me know where it
I
was.
can absolutely.
Great, thank you.
So, MS patients who do smoke have a higher risk of greater disability, more lesions on their MRIs, worse cognitive dysfunction, and increased brain atrophy. So, all of those are bad. None of those are good. Patients who smoke have a progress to secondary progressive multiple sclerosis faster than patients who do not, and at a younger age. There is a quasi-valid study out there that talks about the decreased effectiveness of your disease-modifying therapy if you smoke. So actually, because of the inflammatory effects that smoking itself causes, that it can negate or partially negate the drugs that you're putting in your body to prevent that inflammation. So, and there was a very good study that actually showed that patients who are diagnosed with clinically isolated syndrome, that first diagnosis that you get with one clinical event and probably one MRI lesion, that the progression to clinically definite MS is greater if you smoke. So I have zero tolerance for smoking. I don't even say a little bit's okay. That is definitely not the 85-15 rule. It's bad, and it's not just from an MS standpoint. The cardiovascular, the pulmonary, it's all across the board. Everybody knows it. So, yes.
So stop.
So stop. Yes. If you smoke, stop. Stop. It's not good. It's not good. So. And then another one of my babies that you guys will hear me talk about, and patients I think are tired of hearing me talk about this, is exercise. I am a huge proponent of exercise, and I don't care how you accomplish it. I talk about stretching. Stretching is considered exercise. I wholeheartedly believe that. Is it considered aerobic exercise? Absolutely not, unless you're doing a different type of stretching than I have recommended. And I'm not sure that's called stretching at that point.
If she gets us.
But yoga is a great form of exercise. You can do, the MS Society has chair yoga DVDs. There's all sorts of yoga. I couldn't be a bigger proponent for. Aerobic exercise. You need to be doing aerobic exercise 3 times a week. And I will say that by and large, MS patients who do not have mobility limitations are the most sedentary patients. Lots of studies support that. Even though you physically are able to, there are other reasons that you cannot. Now, most of my MS patients suffer from fatigue. That is disabling. It's a fatigue that anybody who doesn't have MS will never, ever understand. We try very, very hard to treat it, but I will say that our treatments medicinally, pharmacologically, are generally inadequate. They can cover enough to get you through your work day, but generally, most of the time, you don't have a whole lot left over for what really is the meat of life, which is your evening or your time outside of work. So that's where exercise comes into play, because exercise can tap those natural reserves, can build up those natural reserves. And just walking, stationary bikes, new steps, yoga, Pilates, all of that stuff is fabulous. I always remind my patients, because the majority of my MS patients are women, and young women, that you need to be doing some sort of weight-bearing exercise as well. You can develop osteoporosis on top of MS, and it's separate, so you have to be doing weight-bearing exercises with actual weights, with squats, body weights, bands, and all of those you can do. You can make accommodations for those if you have certain limitations, physical limitations. You can do them in chairs, you can do them laying down. I have patients in wheelchairs that will do stretching with towels, and will do bands with towels. And I frequently recruit physical therapists to come and talk to my patients. I send my patients to physical therapists. They are masters of the body. They can show you how to work things and do certain exercises. But it's, insurance only covers so much. And so once you're outside of that, an exercise routine has to be established. And Lifetime Fitness, I've had Lifetime Fitness instructors come and talk to the support group that we have at the hospital. I have a very good friend of mine who works there. And she has come, Tara Sayer.
I love her. She's having a baby soon.
I love her too.
Yes, she's lovely.
Yes.
And she just came to the Val at our hospital at Bruin has a monthly support group. She was out of town this week, so I had this month, so I had Tara come talk. And she's a trainer at Lifetime, and she talks about the value of physical therapists and what they do, but then trainers come in and they teach you how to use your body differently and how to exercise so that you can sustain it and not need to go back to a physical therapist, and I think that's very important. So I think the one that trumps all of this, though, is emotional health. And emotional health is huge. Patients have not just MS. They are wives, they are mothers, they are sisters, they work full-time, they volunteer full-time, they have full-time lives. And being an MS patient is difficult, and it affects not just your physical symptoms, but your cognitive symptoms and your emotional well-being as well. And so that's where emotional health has to be really, really, really focused upon. Exercise can certainly improve that. Good support systems can improve that as well. It warms my heart to see family here, because I think that's lovely. Because that's what you're supposed to have. You're supposed to have that support system. Getting out and being social. People who are not as involved in their community or out in either still working or are isolating themselves are people who need the most support. So ways to do that, lots of support groups. There are support groups everywhere all the time, during the day, at night, on the weekends, in all areas of our state. It's absolutely amazing the amount of requests that I get, my clinic gets, and I'm sure other people get to go and talk to support groups to offer these type of services. I think they're great. The MS Society, of course, has a list of a ton of them. Complementary therapies. I could not be a bigger fan of massage. I couldn't be a bigger fan of acupuncture, chiropractic care. All of my neurology colleagues want to shoot me when I say that, but I am a fan of chiropractic care, as long as they're not adjusting from the neck up. I think it does wonders for the body. Tai Chi, yoga, Pilates. There have been some natural mood stabilizers that are out there in terms of like supplements, St. John's wort, that type of thing. I faithfully, because this kind of falls under complementary therapy, get asked about marijuana. Do I consider it a complementary therapy? If it were legal in the state of Iowa, my answer would be yes. It's not legal in the state of Iowa, so my answer is no. I will certainly say that there are very, very good studies out there that talk about the benefits of marijuana in certain symptoms. So bladder issues, depression, spasticity, pain. I know you will not be shocked when I tell you that it has a negative effect on cognition and reaction time. So that is something to take into consideration. And it may be counterintuitive to being mindful of your diet, but
Brownies are good.
85-15.
And again, it's illegal, so I'll say that I go with the 100% no, but, you know,
Go to Colorado, get some.
I have colleagues that are all over who actually carry it in their office and make personal recommendations. So, yeah, that is what I have.
Can I just say something on that?
Yes,
Marijuana?
please, yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, so last night at the Moon Cognition, we had a really big discussion about it. So there's actually a rally on the 22nd at the Capitol that you can go and rally for it. And so what my understanding is, so they want to get the form, it's called CBD, is that what it is?
Yep.
So it's a different form, and then they could do it in an oil, and so then the oil, you can put it on your food, and it gets absorbed differently, and it doesn't give you the high, it's for your symptoms. And so they take out the elements of, I don't know what they do with it, but yeah, and so, but there is a rally, if anybody wants to go, the 22nd at the Capitol. What time is that?
Yes.
Yes.
There's a list.
Because they had asked me at the neurologist's office to be in a study for that at one point.
Oh, you should have said that.
Yeah. To it or anything like that, and I have spasticity,
Yeah.
really bad, and I have a lot of problems.
Well, and that's what they were saying last night is that this gal, her friend did it, and he used the oil, and it took away all of his spazzing and all of the symptoms that oil did. And I guess, I mean, and maybe I might be wrong with this, so don't quote me on this, but they can figure out, like, so let's say you say, I'm having lots of bowel problems and this, and say, okay, there's like a certain type that they can give you. So it's not like eating it in a
Well,
brownie
the study got botched,
Yeah,
because they had asked me to do it, and because I've done studies for them before,
right.
and they asked me to do it, and I said, anything that helps, you
Yeah.
know? And then about 3 months later, I said, what had happened? And they said, they decided not to do it. I said, fine.
Well, yeah, and I can find out the time of that. Carrie, you know Jody who sends out all the emails about all the events?
Jody Cook?
Yeah, her husband's the one that was talking about the rally. So I can reach out to
I'm
her.
getting it for you right now.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Girl.
So if anybody wants to join the rally or spread the word,
12 p.m.
12 p.m. at the Capitol on the 22nd.
The West Steps.
So, yeah, there you go. Sorry, I didn't want to.
No.
But we just had this, and it was like a 25-minute discussion last night, and I'm like, where did this come from? I don't even know. I don't even know how I even got something, but never know where it's gonna go. Yeah.
Thank you. It's good to know. It's good to know.
They're working on it.
They're working on it. I think eventually something will evolve.
Might be a while, but yeah. Thank you.
I personally do not, but I can make recommendations for people to do.
You can go with Deanna. Deanna Taylor goes and does it, she can bring somebody. No, I'm sorry, Vanessa does it. Oh, yeah.
Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions? I'll answer anything.
I do want that information about the story.
She was just talking about that, like.
I was just at the Capitol all day today advocating for smoke-free casinos.
I would have gone.
Why can you smoke in casinos? Why?
Because they have 32 lobbyists sitting in the lobby of the Capitol building telling them that we need it.
Makes lots of money and gives lots of money away to
Because you can't.
everybody, like, you know, grants.
I never understand why casinos you can smoke.
It's only Iowa.
No, it's not.
No, Colorado, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, Ohio, some Indian reservations, and there's a couple in like California and Washington that are smoke-free. I know my shit about it.
That's why I don't ever go in.
I told her that you could maybe help her.
Anyone have a question? Anyone? She covered it all, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't think I need to go to my doctor's appointment anymore. Too bad, it's different. I don't understand. We don't have to talk about diet, exercise, or wellness. You answered my medical cannabis question. I'm good.
Yeah, we find out 10 minutes of our visit. There you go.
Okay, I get that. Thank you so much, Megan.
Thank you.
Yeah, my friend Megan's Doogie Howser. Okay, so very quickly, if you have a moment on Saturday morning, if you are coming to the 5K, come early. Be there at 8 o'clock.
Oh my.
Let me finish. How about you chill?
In the morning?
Zip it. You're grown adults. No, not do this.
Have you met them?
No, you're right. Anyway, you don't have to come. If you don't want to be part of the Faces of MS for Iowa, then don't come. You're good. I mean,
You don't want to get up.
You don't want
Yes.
to see our 8 in the morning faces.
so at any rate,
Yeah, I know.
Christy Cobb has donated her time and is going to take, we're going to try to make a life size or a live ribbon, orange ribbon. So wear orange. And you can be a caregiver, you can be a friend, you can be a family member. It does not matter if you have a connection to MS. We want you in the picture. And then afterwards, we may have a little something else. Are we having a frame? Do you know? Okay, so we may have a frame. Where you know how they're doing the empty frames and you put your head in there and get a picture. So anyway, and then we'll highlight some people every month on our website, and with your permission, of course. The other thing I must tell you before anyone leaves, Megan so greatly honored us with her presence this evening as far as volunteering her time. But remember, she is here because we asked her to be here. Whatever you want to talk about with your doctor about what's best for you, do so. You know, don't feel like it. I believe everything Megan says is to be true, but she's also my doctor. So just make sure that before you go out and start your own exercise program or whatever you want to do, I don't think it's smart for me to go out and run a 5K on Saturday. So I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to let all of you run it for me. Thank you for doing that. Yes. So no, that's not going to happen. So anyway, so just remember that what we learn here is we're grateful for the information, but just remember to make sure you, and it's the same thing with medical cannabis. When it becomes legal, I still say it's something you would talk over with your doctor. If it's best for you, that's great, you know, and you feel good about doing it, that's wonderful. But just remember when you come to our educational dinners, we're trying to provide as much information as we can, and it's typically one person's opinion. We got a lot of information tonight, so questions? So if you come at 8 o'clock, and if you come at 8 o'clock, I'm not sure what that sign was that I just got a little baseball sign from Plucky, and I'm not sure what it was. So at any rate, come at 8 o'clock Saturday morning to where you register, and we'll take a picture as close as we can to that, so that you've got time to register. If you still want to register, pee, stretch, you know, all that good stuff. Okay? Questions?
If we can get a hand for who has already, or if you have not already paid. So
If you didn't pay ahead, I'll
Brian can bring you your check.
Should I? Yeah.
So he's gonna
We
come
have
out,
already
he's
paid.
got your tab, he's gonna come out.
15.
Yes. So going forward, just so you all know, to make it as easy as we can for Christy, because the biggest thing is trying to plan for the number of people. This is a lot more people. We had 13 confirmed paid, and I think we had 37 saying they were coming on Facebook. But if you could pay through via, if I'm right, we'll put that out there going forward, and it saves a ton of time at the end too. So, okay? All right. Thank you all for coming very much.
So Brian's gonna come around real quick if you want to take a break for a second.
What's the schedule?